My family and I are selling everything we own to leave the UK. And I thought I'd bring you into my mindset of how, we get rid of everything. Because it's not really talked about a huge amount. But we're basically selling or giving away or throwing away our entire life, our entire previous life. And to be honest, it's really not easy to do. So have a seat and have a think. What do you own? Because whatever you own, you now need to get rid of it. So how many cars do you have outside? We have sold our 2 expensive cars. Well, they weren't actually that expensive, but we've sold our 2 cars, and then we went and bought a car for £700. So when we leave the UK, we can either just give it away or whatever. I've sold everything that I had in my shed. I had lathes, machinery, jet washers, chainsaws. All of that life is now gone because I'm no longer working in forestry. We've sold a lot of our furniture. We've sold our beds. Well, we've already sold our beds, then we had to buy them back when the house fell through. So we've sold that as well. So you have to leave the UK, and all you can take is a small suitcase. And all that's going to be in your suitcase is clothes. So have a look around your house. What do you need to get rid of, and what's the hardest things to get rid of? My wife got rid of, she sold some, all of her jewellery. We've sold anything that's an heirloom has gone, because we can't keep any of these things. We've got 1 or 2 small boxes that are going to go into a friend's loft. That's it. And we're talking things like maybe old photos or things of that nature, which are not, nobody else wants them, but we don't want to particularly get rid of them. So why have we decided to do this? Well, if you look at some of my other videos, you'll see reasons why we've decided to leave the UK. It's personal reasons, family reasons, and the fact the UK it's not becoming a place where I think my kids have got the best start in life now. We already homeschooled. We have done for nearly 4 years now. So the schooling side is taken care of. All we're waiting for now is some solicitors to talk to some more solicitors to get our house sold, and then we'll go. And that's that. So right, back to what you need to sell. Have you made a little list of things that you would have to get rid of? Because it's surprisingly overwhelming, and you suddenly realise how much stuff is not worth. Furniture, for example. You can't give furniture away. All of our furniture has pretty much gone to charity shops because everyone wants to buy it new on finance. Similar with older cars. They're not the easiest things to sell now due to tax brackets and other such things. So you end up with all this stuff that you struggle to get rid of. We did 8 car boot sales and we didn't get rid of anything like we wanted to get rid of. And actually financially they weren't worth it in the end, because people were wanting to pay 50p for something that was like 50 or 60 quid. And at the end of it, such a difficult process of haggling with every single person to get a tiny amount of money out of them, that in the end it just wasn't worth it. I wish we'd just charity shopped the majority of stuff we took. Not worth it. So what have you got in your house that you're going to sell or give away? The biggest thing is quite clearly the house. And I've talked about housing in some of my other videos, because I realised that houses aren't an investment because they cost you money. And a house is something that ties you to where you live. And in order to get that money out of your house, you have to put it on the market. And it's taken us we started this in January. It's taken us nearly a year to get down the line and sell the house. So that's quite difficult. It's not money that's easily accessible. So when you look at your life and you see all these things you own, are they financed? How much would you get back if you gave the cars back? If you sold the house? What happens if you can't sell the house? You realise that in reality, your whole life you've built an amount of money that it's not actually that much. And then you realise that the whole thing's an illusion. The feeling of having all these products, all this consumerism. So you live in a house which is not that easy to sell anymore. You live in an area where you have 2 cars. Are they worth the money you paid for them? No, they're not, because they depreciate quite quickly. So in the end, when you've added everything up, you realise that on face value, we look quite well off. Yeah, we look good. We look fantastic. But it's all a front. Because when you get down into the finances of it all, you realise that you owe a lot of people a lot of money. And that life that you've got is an illusion. Behind it, there's not a lot of money. I've been the same, and I've only just realised that this isn't worth it. So, have a look. What do you own? What is in your house? Is any of it really worth that much money? Is anything you're doing in your life worth the house and the 2 cars and all the consumerism that you get advertised all the time and you buy into? For example, takeaways, plastic stuff that you buy the kids all the time. That people are, advertisers are experts at selling to kids. Experts. All this stuff that you just do not need. And that's one of the reasons that we've decided to do this. Because 99% of the stuff we've got, we just don't need. What we need, with our neurodivergent kids in my case, is to be with them more, give them more time, and to have a nice family connection.